So Accountex 2024, and we're back again with another podcast pit stop brought to you by Ask the Accountant. Now, in this podcast pit stop, we've got someone that's definitely made Johann very excited lately, something that he's talking about and very passionate about. So we've got Jonathan from Buddy HR. Do you want to first of all just talk about who you are, why you're here, why people should care? Just give us a bit of a plug. Go for it.
Yeah, so I'm a co-founder at Buddy. So we've been running a payroll software now for 6 years, but we've just launched in the UK. So I came in this space because there was a real gap in the UK market.
Yeah.
But we started off from seeing the lack of integrations in the whole market. So that's what actually kicked Buddy off 6 years ago. But then when we started to understand a little bit the space to go beyond Malta, because Malta is very small, we realized that especially the bureau space, there's not enough in it. And we've spent the last 3 years studying and understanding it before finally we came into market.
I love that. So maybe I'm just being ignorant, but when I first saw it, it said Buddy HR. And so is it payroll and HR, or is that something to come later? Tell me about the name.
Yeah, so the name actually started from when we wanted to brand it out, and we understood that, payroll scares a lot of people. So we needed something with a face, something that's friendly, and we came up with Buddy. Buddy HR is partly because we're trying to find a domain that we use the word Buddy, and went with .hr, because it does thing. I mean, HR is actually Croatia, funnily enough.
Yeah.
But it does work in our industry, but HR. But in addition to payroll, we do have a number of HR functions. So anything from holiday management, timesheets, a little bit of basic TNA. We don't go as far out as the big boys in HR. We might do in the future, but not at the moment.
Yeah. So would you ever, from a HR point of view, like onboard your employees or anything like that? Is that already in the system, or is that looking to go in the system? How's that work?
It's at the moment, it's not in the system in terms of employee onboarding. I mean, you can invite them on the platform. They have full access to the platform.
Yeah.
But we're not doing the full onboarding journey just yet. It's something that definitely we're planning. We're trying to understand a little bit. How does it work between, the bureau, the client, the employee? We know there's a relationship there that's been largely ignored by the industry.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can't make the jump to the end before you take people through the steps to get there.
I love it. Okay. So with your industry that you're coming into, so first and foremost, or the first question I'd like to know is, you've mentioned you were, started off in Malta, then came to UK. Was there many differences to worry about other than the compliance? Was it you sorted out like tax rates and everything was fine, or have you seen a massive difference in?
Yeah, I mean, there is a difference. I mean, the principles are the same. So we kept, the core structure is the same, but all the compliance elements are completely different. So when we did the Malta, 6 years ago, we're like, we're trying to be very clever and make it super configurable. Then you start to realize, it doesn't translate as easily as you think it would.
Yeah.
And we have nothing that is like RTIs in Malta. So that all that's new. We had to introduce pensions, auto enrollments. All of that is new. But the rest of the core is the same. Then it's understanding what are the nuances between the different types of industries. And I think going into bureau, you really have to cover everyone's needs.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, every time we have a conversation, something new pops up. It's been a big learning curve, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, based on the interaction I've had from Johann and other people who have kind of used the software, I feel like you've got a nice product where it's simple to use. I think that's always really important with payroll, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a big one for us. So the market that we come from is very different. So over here, there's a lot of bureaus and firms that actually run payroll for clients.
Yeah.
And most there's a bit of that, but there's also a bit of direct. It's maybe not as complex. And we're seeing a lot of smaller businesses sign up and try to do it themselves because the landscape is maybe simpler, not as much hard on the compliance side. So you can get away with quite a few things.
Yeah.
So we had to make it really simple to make sure they can't make mistakes. And then we said, we want to go back with that mentality of, we're working with professionals now.
Yeah.
But we want to guide the professional to make things easy for them to understand what's going on. Because there's one thing between you learned it at a course and you're letting the software do it and actually seeing what the software is doing so you understand and do your job better.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of, especially from our user base and from the people who watch our shows and everything, integration's key. Have you got any integrations currently? Are you looking to put any integrations out there? How's it going?
Integrations are really key for us because especially in this market, you need integrations with accounting, with pensions, TNA systems. So we've got quite a mix there. So we integrate with all the big accounting firms. Have integrations in terms of pensions, same thing. Anyone that's got an API, we're looking to work with them. We're doing Teleroo and payments. We're asking a few others, can you give us an API? Can we get in? Because at the end of the day, most accountants will use different products, and there isn't really a payroll solution that goes across all the different ones. So like, yeah, if we can be that and enable you to connect your journeys to your platform of choice, then that makes your life easier and makes it stickier for us as well.
100%, 100%. And that's one of the problems we've had with payroll recently, is it's been really difficult to find that one solution that just connects to all. So yeah, excellent. Good to hear. Right. Let's talk about Accountex 2024 then. So what were your first impressions when you walked in? Have you been to Accountex before, or?
Yeah, so I think I've been to every Accountex since 2017 or 18.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I've been, that's part of, we were learning in the space. You have to attend to kind of get to know people. I mean, it looks like a big show, like it always is. There's a few things that were done maybe differently this year to get a few more people to interact. I think it was fun, had quite a lot of interactions. There's a few stands that tried to make something a bit different than usual. So yeah, I think that robot at the beginning definitely scared a few people off, I think, as well.
Amazing. That's what it is. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so what you were most looking forward to about this Accountex? Was there a speaker you were looking to? Was it just networking? Was it one of the vendors out there? What was your thing you were looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing is networking and talk to the partners and apps that we actually integrate with.
Amazing.
So it's building relationships so that we can serve our clients better. I mean, we got to meet a few clients actually here as well. So just starting out, that was really important. I think next year we'll be in with a stand as well.
Amazing. Oh, that'd be great to see. What's been your highlight so far of Accountex 2024?
My highlight so far. So it's an interesting question. I'd say the party, but I don't think that was the biggest highlight, to be honest. I think it's the quality of conversations.
Oh, brilliant.
People.
Yeah.
It's like you're getting stopped around and like, yeah, what are we doing? How's the space changing? What's going on? I think, well, the highlight would be really this, because you don't get to go on a podcast every day, do you?
Fantastic. All right. An event like this, one of the things we have is we get so much information thrown at us, right? If you go to any of the talk to any of the vendors, we have conversations. One of them, you just said there, like how you're talking to people, all these integrated partners, all of your customers. For someone who's never been to an accounting event or any conference for that matter, what tips would you give for them? Because how do you go away from an event like this and make sure that it's all actionable, that make sure that you are going to give the opportunity to make the most out of this day, so you're not wasting this day? What's tips for you? How do you get actions out of an event like that?
I think if you're new and attending any of the talks, get something to jot notes on.
Yeah,
because there are key actions and takeaways. I like to take some pictures of key slides when I'm passing by and stopping for a talk, because at least gives me something to go back on. It's impossible to remember everything. So I think if once the show finishes, you spend a few minutes like, yeah, what are the 2-3 things I want to action? You can't action 100%. If you met 10 software vendors, you can't implement 10 different softwares in your practice. You need to choose the one. I would say the one. If you have time to do 2 and 3, maybe, but the one thing that will make most difference in your practice from what you could record.
That's good. Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm gonna do a 2-parter for this question. Normally we just keep it generic, but one of the next questions we always ask, and we ask everyone this question. So obviously you're very passionate about your product. You're very passionate about everything there, and you show that. But what is it about the industry? So normally we just say the industry as a whole, but for you, what do you love, about payroll industry? What makes you love the payroll industry and want to help them? And B, what have you kind of seen to start to love about the UK accounting industry? What about both those? If they're the same thing, great, but like talk to me about that.
So I think the payroll industry has been massively undervalued and underserved.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think we don't recognize how important it is to employees. So when we started Buddy back in 2018, for me, it was like, oh yeah, we've just got another tech product. Like I've built tech softwares before.
Yeah.
It's just like anything else. Then you start to realize like, yeah, I've had an issue, had a problem paying someone. Once we had a case where an employer came and like told us the tax was all wrong for a group of staff.
Yeah.
But imagine a hospital, all the cleaners going on strike.
Yeah.
That was what they're being threatened, because it affects their livelihood. So I think it's really important to raise that awareness and give them something so they can feel valued again, because these people tend to get just going on. In terms of the accounting space, I would say, especially in the UK, it's the accountants that work with the bureaus or do it in-house, which serve most of the SMEs. So there are a lot of products, a lot of things for the big enterprises.
Yep.
Why are the small smaller businesses, smaller bureaus and accounting firms left behind. Why do they need to invest such huge amounts to get a product which is supposed to do a lot, maybe doesn't do as much?
Yeah, 100%.
Where the technology is there to even the game out. So let's even the game out, give a better service to the small businesses and help them grow. Because after all, this is one way that you can give more advisory by understanding what's happening within the business, because the employees are the heart of the business.
I love that. I love that a lot. And a great answer. But that's what you love about the industry, and that's what's giving you that passion, that fire in your belly. But what would you change about the industry?
I think the biggest change that needs to happen is the perception out there. And it's been talked a lot.
Yeah.
But no one seems to be doing enough to get in front of the right people to change it. So if you talk to most businesses out there that don't work with a really good accountant, an accountant is someone that just does the number and files the tax.
Yeah.
How can we get the accountants that aren't at this show and at the other shows to realize that, that's not what accountancy is for?
Yeah. 100%.
That's what I'd love to change. How to change? I think that's a
harder question, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people paid much more than us. They're out there to hopefully solve it for us. Okay, so how do you describe your ideal client for Buddy? Like, if you were going to kind of paint a perfect picture of that county firm or bureau or whoever it's going to be, who are you targeting?
So we're working with accountancy firms, bureaus, and even bookkeepers. I think what's really important for us is that they have the qualifications or the knowledge to run payroll.
Yeah.
And that is because we understand how sensitive it is, and we want to empower the right people to move forward. I think for us, it's important that we get feedback from the professionals to ensure that we're able to serve them well. Our goal is literally, can we help the professionals? So we have anyone from, a couple of businesses into people running hundreds or even thousands of payroll that are talking to us to, move forward.
I love it. Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. Okay, let's think back 12 months. So what bit of technology out there, and it could be an app, it could be a gadget, it could be Buddy. For you're allowed to use your own and promote your own software here. But is there a piece of technology that's come along, or something in your tech stack that's come along that's been an absolute game changer for you over the last 12 months, and basically something that you would want to recommend to our lovely listeners?
I mean, the big one over the last 12 months, I think, has been the evolution of AI. I think a lot of people haven't understood how they could use it. I mean, I'd love to say our product, but I mean, we're innovating in payroll, but these guys are literally changing how things will work.
Yeah.
And I've talked to payrollers and accountants. They said, yeah, we've used ChatGPT. What for? For marketing. Did you ever try to get, a P&L or a payroll report into ChatGPT and ask it to reason about it? They tell you, I didn't realize I could upload an Excel into ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's massive. So we're actually trying it out and seeing how it can help us change how, accountants can get the message over to the business, because the business, we'll see a payroll report and look at it. Yeah, numbers look okay. That's about it. But can we reason about it in a way that we are not doing today?
I love that. And you kind of stole the fun of my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. We look back 12 months. Now you're going to look forward 12 months. How much do you think it's going to change in terms of AI and impacting your day-to-day life? Do you think it's going to be something that's going to massively change over the next 12 months? Is 12 months not enough time for it to really bed in? Or is it a flash in the pan and it's just going to fizzle away? What's your thoughts on it?
I don't think it's going to fizzle away. I think there's a lot of expectations of what it's going to do. I think what we don't realize, it's in whose hands is it being used.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We spoke about, the accountants that aren't here today. Is it going to change their world in 12 months? Probably not.
We'd like it to, right?
Well, yeah, we'd like it to, but for it to change it in 12 months, it needs to drastically change you so it can take over all the clients. And that's not, even if you wanted to, you don't have the capacity to do that. Even if everyone here just, double, triple their practice in a year, there's still too much work out there. So in a day-to-day life, anyone that's really interested in AI, it can change a lot. It's just, you need to make time to use it and try it out. And I think a lot of accountants, payrollers, bookkeepers are tight on time. So you need to find strategies to free up that time to actually understand how you can use the tool to then free up more time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think you're right. And I think, we've just got to innovate and we've got to keep pushing it. Right. Use this opportunity now. This camera, that camera, that camera. Probably this camera, the best one. Plug away. Tell people how they can find you. Any webinars, any content coming up. This moment, the floor is yours. Go for it.
Thank you. So We're Buddy. Our website is buddy.hr. You'll find all the information on the product there. We have 100% transparent pricing, easy to understand. We're easy to reach. We have live chat and business hours. We respond in under a minute. So that's been our average over the last year. We have webinars coming up. So we do a monthly webinar with Ian Holloway, which talks around payroll. It's always something new around the legislative elements. So feel free to pop in that. It's a wealth of knowledge, and it's really been great to have him on.
Amazing. Definitely. So that's been it. This has been a podcast pit stop here at Accountex 2024. And generally, it's been a really insightful conversation. We've got to have you back. There's definitely more to come. Johann's going to push you back anyway. So
he's not.
Yeah, you'll be kicking and screaming. So don't you worry about it. You'll be coming on back on there. So this is it for today's podcast. Don't forget, if you want more information like this, you're already in the right place. So make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. We've got plenty more content coming from Accountex 2024. Don't forget to make sure you connect with Jonathan himself at Buddy HR. This podcast has been amazing. Use the comment section below. Let us know. Is there any questions when we do our Cool Friends with Jonathan? Any questions you want to know? Let us know in the comments. So thank you, Jonathan. It's been amazing. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next video. Thank you.
Thank you.